right. Well, we're no longer right in the old city of Krakow. We took the tram, which is over there, and we came across the Vistula River, and we're looking at Kazimierz, if I have it correctly, which is where the Jewish ghetto is located. And we're going to be walking. We're taking a walking tour this afternoon. And what's interesting about this is, you form an impression of a city because for the first 3 days we stayed in the old city. We thought this is Krakow, inside the walls of the old city. And then we begin to realize that Krakow is actually much larger. And of course it's much larger because the central part of Krakow within the city walls is actually quite small. So here's another part, Kazimierz. And I think there's more and more to this city. And again, I bring everything back to language learning, right? But so I think of it, when you're learning a language, you've got the big picture, the whole language, which you gradually get bits and pieces of. And whatever part of it you have, you think that's the language. But of course, the language is always much larger. And, visiting Krakow here, I bought a book, which is Historia Krakowa dla każdego. So it describes the history of Krakow. It explains the different parts of Krakow in Polish. So this is good for my overall Polish language, getting the language in me. I understand 60, 70, 80, 90% of what I read. I don't worry about what I don't understand. I'm still getting the language in me. I'm getting an impression of Krakow. I also bought a book on learning Polish for Ukrainians. And I'm going through this and I'm picking up the bits and pieces of grammar that I have looked at before. And every time you look at the grammar, it's just an ingredient. And I kind of see the whole process of language learning is, it's almost like you're mixing a dough, and the dough gets bigger and bigger as you throw more ingredients into it. The ingredients are the words and the phrases that you pick up as you're reading and you're listening, and maybe you're talking to people. And sometimes when I talk to people in Polish, I can't quite manage, and we go back to English, but it doesn't matter. They're all bits and pieces that are fed into this big dough. And then the visit with the bits and pieces, the visit to the grammar, where I don't necessarily remember it, but it is contributing. It's contributing to solidifying my grasp on this overall picture of the language. And the same way here, we're going to travel to different parts of Krakow. We're going to talk to people, take the tram, which is a great experience. I love taking local transit when I'm traveling. And then we're going to have a walking tour, which will be in English. But this evening we might speak some Polish, and every so often I consult my grammar book, which has the advantage of being in Ukrainian. So I'm looking at the differences between Polish and Ukrainian. And then tomorrow we're taking the train back to Warsaw, and we have a meetup. And there I'm going to speak Polish. Będziemy mówić po polsku z wami, z ludźmi, którzy będą jechać na how do you say? Meetup. And oczywiście będę robić blendy, duże blendy. Ale jeśli musimy coraz myśleć, czy jest ten słow prawda, nieprawda, nie mogę mówić. So the important thing is in my conversation, I will make lots of mistakes, but it's another engagement with the language. I will hear what people are saying. If I have to think about whether this is correct, is it a Ukrainian word or a Russian word or a Czech word or a Polish word? Is it correct? Is it the correct tense? I won't be able to speak. But if I can start speaking and listening to people, it's further input, it's further involvement with the language. And gradually, slowly, as I said the other day, the language, if you get enough opportunity, you will improve. And I have enough of a hold on Polish now. I can read this book and understand most of it, that if I were to spend 2 months in Poland, I would be speaking quite comfortably. But of course, here with 5 days exposure, I can't speak very comfortably. But you'll have a chance to hear me at our meetup on Thursday afternoon, June the 1st, in front of the Puro Hotel in Warsaw. Do widzenia. Bye for now. So here we are in the square in Warsaw. We just went for a walk to get over our having spent so much time eating on a plane. And in behind us, we walked a fair distance to get here. And you can see the whole thing behind us. I can show you there what it looks like.
The old town.
The old town. So now we are going to proceed into the old town. I spent 2 months listening and reading, working up my vocabulary. I even worked on the plane on my iPad with my history of Poland. And I've got my vocabulary up to where I even decided to buy some paper books. One is a help yourself book, and the other is a history or the life of Chopin, both in Polish. I'm going to read them. It's going to help me. But trying to speak has been difficult. I struggled with my taxi driver. I struggled on the plane with the stewardesses, and didn't quite get there. But we'll see. A couple of days, I should improve.